Okay, welcome back. We're back on this build 8846, the tow truck. That's where we got to in the last video. I think that was, according to the instructions here, stage 28. So now we're going on to the hood build. Let's just pop it over there for a second, see what part we want for this. So really coming together now, this one. As I said before, we have had to get some of these parts from Lego. We've had to get some from Bricklink, and so this sort of part on this have kind of come from everywhere really. So it's been one of those sort of hodgepodge put together things where we've had to sort of scrounge up quite a few parts from different places. Let's just move that back so we can see what we're doing. But I think we are there with all the parts. Hopefully we're there with all the parts, because if we're not at this stage, we could be slightly up the creek without a paddle, because I don't believe that I have any more anywhere. There could be a few spares left over in the box, because there might be ones in here from the other sets, because on this particular build you can build other sets out of it. Okay, that's how we need to be. Just checking. So I'll show that when we get to the end of the build, the other bits and bobs that you can actually build with this set, which is quite good that these plans are in there. older sets like this, there was always oops, put the wrong piece there. Yeah, that should have been that way and that way. Okay, not paying attention to what I was doing there. So these older sets, what they did was they would give you a few instructions for different sets in the packet, or the plans I should say, and then you could choose sort of which ones you really wanted to build. So we've got us bonnet there, and then through this was our spare tyre that would fit through there and onto that, like so, and then we would attach those onto there. It still amazes me when I come to do these sets now. Literally, it's technical Lego, yes, but it just amazes me how beautifully simple these sets were for technical Lego. When I look at some of the new sets that there are about now, it really is incredible. So we've got the hood on there, and step 30 is the top. So again, let's just pop that over there for a second and get our parts for this. So we've got one of those, two of those, actually one of those yet. Just have some grey pieces there. There's one, there's the second. Light bar strip. Now these are what we've replaced. So these orange ones are probably more in fitting now than the red ones, but back in the day this came with the red ones, so that's what I'm going with. I tried to match these when I couldn't get these originally with something new from Lego, but that was the closest they had, so I bought them and then managed to get the originals off Bricklink. But in today's environment, if you were making this now, you would probably go with the orange as opposed to the red, because it's more in keeping with the tow truck than the others are. But you know, I suppose either, you can use either. I'm just gonna use the red because that's the more original for me, and I wanted to try and keep it as authentic as possible and as close to original as possible. Because that's how I remember building it as a kid over 40 years ago. So I mean this bit here, there's just a light bar that goes on the top of the truck. Is so easy and simple. I've probably got somewhere in my collection a better white than that. That piece is showing its age a little. But again, back over to our truck. That slides through there. In between the two rams, push down, clip those in, and then that and that will attach to the sides there. And then we've got just one of these turning things for the top. Yeah, so we're all working there now. So something, yes, we've got that positioned in the wrong place. So let's just correct that before we go any further. Oops. For such an old set of Lego, the fittings on this are really still tight. There's not much play in them at all. So there we go. So cab on. So this then turns the wheels, which will be on shortly. We've got something probably rubbing somewhere there, which I'll have to work out in a bit, but that in effect turns the wheels. And this one here is to turn the winch at the front, so when the rope's out we can turn that and we can pull in our winch. So there's quite a few decent play features on there. We're now putting the wheels on, which will complete the body of the truck. It's not yet complete and by any means. We've got the back piece to put on, which is probably going to be the most complicated thing in this build. So, looking exactly as I remember it. Yeah. Just left that catch up there. Take that back, because we're going to need that. So there we have, wheels on. So looking good. Now we're at stage, where are we? Stage 32. So let's just get the parts for this. So we need 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Those were the bits I was concerned we might not have. And two of those. Now we need 20 of these. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, oops, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We need one more 20. There we go. So we've got 2 of those, we need 6 of these short ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And one of those, and one, two of them. So it would appear that we have all the bits. I remember first putting this together and this bit absolutely blowing my mind as a child. Let's hope it doesn't do that today. If you are watching on TikTok right now, thanks for joining us. It's much appreciated. I have not yet mastered the art of looking at the plans and looking at the camera and saying hi to people that have joined or otherwise, but the more I get used to it, hopefully I'll be able to do that. But right now I'm more focused on just getting getting the build together. So that's then held on by these end bits here. Let's just get those on so those don't drop off. Oops, he says, almost dropping it. So these little cogs or little teeth on these that you probably won't be able to see, that sort of lock these pieces into place. So when you do put them together, getting the angle right for these two pieces will be crucial, because otherwise when we go to mount it on the vehicle, it's not going to line up correctly. So that's why we just got to mess about with this a bit to try and get the angle correct, and I think we're about there with it. I think that looks correct. Now our big one goes in there, so that angle looks correct now, so we'll stick with that. So now we're going to build up our next phase. This is the or what would be, I don't know what it's called on an actual tow vehicle, but this is the bit that cradles the car at the back, if you will, so that it can be towed. Sort of put of the car underneath, and then you would be able to drive off, lifting the front of whatever you're towing up and being able to drive forward with your load in place. So we got those in there like that, and then we've got these. I think that is definitely not positioned correctly, so let's just adjust that so it's sat correctly. It is quite fiddly. Not as fiddly as some of the modern day stuff. I haven't done it on the channel because it was actually one of the kids' Christmas presents, but somebody got them the one of the sports cars, and some of the pieces in that were really quite fiddly to put together and hold together. But it just seemed much easier when you were a kid, I suppose, because your fingers are smaller dealing with some of these parts. Then as you get old and you get sort of fat fingers, shall we say, seem to just be that little bit more difficult to put together. I have to say though, doing this over the last few weeks has been really enjoyable, putting this back together again. And what I have noticed about this older technical Lego is the fact that it's not perfect. You do have to have a think when something doesn't really work that well, and try and work out how to fix it. So that's the cradle, and we are just going to insert that onto the back there, and just pushes on to the stuff that's already in place, and then we can turn it like that. We can use this winch here, or lift that catch there to drop that winch at the back there, and then we can just wind it up like so. We can pull this tow hook here out using that method there, and again we can use this winch this side. Oop, I see, as I just mentioned, some of the technical stuff just not working for me there, but we can winch that back in using that winch there. Lift that up to there, and then on this winch here we can, oops, I've untied it there, so I'll have to retie that. We can pull that out and control that with that winch there, and get that fixed in a minute off camera. I'm really happy with that build. It's been 40 something years since this was built like this, and considering I've had to get parts for it and all the rest of it because it wasn't complete, it's actually turned out really pretty good. The only thing I'm not happy with is going to be these parts I had from Lego that are a completely different colour. You can see the 4 parts I'm talking about. Now, seeing it back together now, we are going to go onto Bricklink and hopefully get those so that it looks better than it does. But having said that, I'll just move that out of the way. I'm extremely happy with that. As I said, this is sat in the loft in pieces, first at my parents' house, and then here for probably 40 years this year since this set's been together like this. So to see it back together is fantastic. some great playability with this set. I remember that now. If you turn the wheel too far, it throws it off a cog that's inside, because there was only one cog in there and not two. It'd probably been better with two. It kind of throws it off, so then you lose the steering aspect, but you're able to push it along, steer. Like I say, you've got two winches on there that work. You've got the drop down piece at the back that works, so some real good playability with this set. And I remember having hours of fun with that as a kid. These are the plans. Don't know if you can see there, for those of you on TikTok, there is another vehicle there that you can build. It comes out like that picture in the top corner there, which again I did build. Maybe at some point we'll have a go at that again. And I think there was another one at the back here. There was, yeah. So you've got the truck here built on similar lines, so that'd be that one there. And then where are we? You've got yes, where is it? This little buggy that you can build here, and it also gave you the instructions here to fit an electric motor if you wanted to drive the vehicle. And at one stage I did have that motor. It was this set here. This was set 8700. It was a small 4.5 volt motor, which you can see here on the box. Some cables. This big long thing here was a battery pack, and if memory serves, it took like 3 or 4 quite large batteries back in the day. And it came with instructions on what you could use these for. So there's going to be sets in here that you could put this thing on, and all the applications that came with that. I don't know, is this the receipt for it? It is, yeah. And it was £14. I don't know if you can see that. It was £14.45 from Argos, and it was bought on the 12th of August 1987 from Argos. Wow. Didn't even realise that that was still in there. I would have been 1987. I would have been 12 or 13 when I bought that. And then you've got some instructions here. It took 3 batteries according to the instructions here. 3 1.5 volt batteries. You had a bit of a control over that. There's a little motor that you could make with it, and this here was an on-off switch. Unfortunately, this has gone completely missing. I have looked literally everywhere for this. I have the box. I've been trying to keep my eye out on eBay to see if I can get a second one, so I can perhaps put it back together again. If anybody knows of anywhere where there's one of these knocking up and down, then fantastic. let me know, because I would dearly love to get that back again, because I literally do not know what happened to that. And I have scoured everything, every bit of Lego I can find, I have looked for that. There'll be another video coming on this, and that video will explain to the viewers why this set, although not my favourite Lego set of all time, why this set means the most to me personally. So that'll be coming up in another video, but for the time being, I mean, just let's take a look at that and just appreciate that, because I think that's fantastic. We've got everything there we need. We've got the box. What I'm going to do now is we'll just set it up on our turntable so that we can all have a good look. If I can get the turntable working. That's the beauty of doing these things live. But there we go. Set 8846. We've got the turntable. It's one of the most complete sets we've got. We've got the instructions there. We've got the box there for all you authentic Lego fans that, you know, like me, now keep your boxes. Yeah, I didn't start out that way. We have lost a few boxes over the years, but I think this is definitely the most complete set now that we've got, and we've still got the spares that I put over there. There's a few of them that we need to make the other set with, and I might actually, one of these videos, not dismantle it because I want to keep it this way, but take it apart, build one of the other sets and then put it back together. So really chuffed with that, really happy with it. So the next big technical build that I want to do, let's just try and move some of this out of the way again from my childhood, is this one. I think most people will remember this one. This is the big car, set 8860. Again, she needs a lot of TLC. 40 years worth of dust, grime. It's got to be completely stripped back. Basically, what we've done with that one from start to finish, strip it all down, clean it, put it all back together, do an inventory, see what bits are missing, see what bits we can put together from our collection here, and literally then do what we've done with this build here and just painstakingly put it back together, making sure we've got all the correct pieces. Most of this still does work, it's just layered in dust because it's been up the attic so long. Don't know if some of the engine parts still work. That's probably seized at the minute because something's not working somewhere. It's probably this wheel that's fell off down there. We have got the box for this. I have got the lid for the box, even though it's detached, which is there. So that's going to be an up and coming build. We've also got the lighting kits for the Discovery here and the DeLorean to do, as well as a few other smaller builds. We have been given a creator shuttle, which we'll do, and there's a couple more Star Wars builds that we're going to go through. I've just been given a small Millennium Falcon. I can't remember what code number that is, but that'll be coming up. But I do want to perhaps next build probably get into starting either the lighting kit on the Discovery, which needs clean, and the lighting kit on the DeLorean, because they've been sat downstairs now for a few months and I just haven't got round to them, but they will be coming up next. These are together with this,